So as we already know, the Sonic the Hedgehog series goes through a lot of different interpretations, whether it be the modern series, the classic series, the Boom series, and now we have the movie series. And well, I think in each and every single version, each of these characters changes, whether it be dramatically or very slightly. And the Sonic movie sequel is no different. When talking about the core three main characters of the Sonic movie sequel, those being Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, it's important to emphasize that their in-game adaptations are quite different from what we see on the big screen. However, unlike the other two characters being Sonic and Knuckles, I feel like Tails is actually the closest to his in-game adaptation, albeit still a very different character. Mind you, most of the core aspects of each individual character is still kept intact just to maintain consistency, although personalities tend to differ throughout the movie and the games, and I feel like Tails in that sense actually remains pretty much the same, especially when it comes to how close he wants to be with Sonic the Hedgehog. And the whole concept of Tails being a close friend of Sonic the Hedgehog is what his character is truly in essence found upon. You see, Tails is the character who he is because of the influence Sonic has on him. In an interview with Yuji Naka, he was asked how did Tails, Knuckles, and Dr. Robotnik get developed, and to answer the question for Tails, he said for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Mr. Yamaguchi, the main designer, created Tails, a character who has a deep admiration for Sonic. And to further illustrate the relationship between Sonic and Tails, Sega of Japan wanted to even name this character Miles Per Hour, to kind of be a play on words for miles per hour, which like Sonic's name is another name indicative of speed. The intention here was clearly to show just how close these characters were by even intertwining their names in some fashion. So with that in mind, how exactly does Tails function in the Sonic movie sequel? This version of Tails stays extremely faithful to how he was initially supposed to be portrayed, in that he does have a lot of admiration for Sonic. Tails mentioned rather early in the film that he began watching Sonic as soon as he caused that energy blast that reached his planet. He was able to see him take down Dr. Eggman and continued watching him from there. He even began to care about Sonic so much that he went out of his way to go warn him about the dangers of Knuckles the Echidna. And as shown throughout his story in the prequel comic, which is canon by the way, he does go through several rigorous tasks to get to Sonic in the first place, so he does a lot of dangerous stuff just to reach his hero, or the one he truly admires. Prequel comic aside, it's really easy to notice just how much Tails seems to care about Sonic, as he always relentlessly gives him praise. Every now and then in the movie, Tails would say a line like, "Only Sonic the Hedgehog could do that," and it'd be really easy to notice because it just seemed like he was calling out the obvious. I won't mention any names or shout out any Twitter handles, but I know it definitely rubbed people the wrong way. But despite how you may feel about this interaction, this is just Tails admiring Sonic's character. This was just one way how Tails expressed how much he truly cared about Sonic. And love it or hate it, it does fall perfectly in line with what Yuji Naka first saw this character as, one who had deep admiration for Sonic. Deep admiration. However, for those of you who did not like this adaptation of this character, I will say that I don't believe it'll be this way for long. In a rather recent interview with Collider, Jeff Fowler, the director of the Sonic movie sequel, said, "I think it really helped audiences connect with Sonic as a character, and so we've just worked really hard not to get too carried away with set pieces and action and adventure. Although it is absolutely bonkers how much great stuff there is, but also continue to tell Sonic's story, develop him as a character, and give all the characters, all the new characters, their own arcs in order for everyone to feel like fully realized, fully dimensional characters." In brief, what Jeff Fowler is saying here is that these characters will continue to grow and evolve in their own character arcs over time. And to be totally honest, we've seen Tails grow substantially in this one movie alone as a character. If you remember correctly, there's this one scene in Wade's garage where it's Sonic, Tails, and Wade, and they've just got word from Longclaw that they have to go after the Master Emerald. And Sonic wants Tails to come with him on his quest, but Tails says, "I'm not a field guy." Sonic continues to urge Tails to go with him and even tells him that he will protect him if need be, and this ultimately causes Tails to go with him. This is one of the first examples of Tails stepping out of his comfort zone, even though it was not voluntarily. However, he does take the initiative to do it all by himself later in the film. There's this one scene towards the end of the movie where Eggman and Knuckles have finally found the temple where the Master Emerald resides, and Tails finally wakes up from being unconscious and says that he needs to go there and help out Sonic, and he doesn't really know what he's up against. He even warns Tom and Maddie ahead of time that Sonic needs help. In this scene, Tails is holding on to his arm and barely able to fly off the ground, and he still wants to provide that assistance to Sonic because he knows he can. Through his albeit short time spent with Sonic the Hedgehog, it's important to realize that he has grown as a character, and this is something that definitely should not just be glossed over. But either way, I feel like I talked a lot about the fact that Tails admires Sonic, but we really didn't go into detail on why he admires Sonic. So I believe it's moments after the glorious dance scene where Tails finally opens up to Sonic on why he truly sees him as this great person, or Hedgehog. Tails says that on his village he was bullied and kind of treated as an outcast because he had two tails, and we even see this kind of reflected in the whole dance scene when he's made fun of and even called a freak. However, what Tails really likes about Sonic is that, in a way, him and Sonic are kind of one and the same. Both are kind of outcasts, but Sonic kind of flaunts it in a way that is pretty cool, and for that reason Tails wants to kind of follow in his footsteps. Generally speaking, Tails' origin story in other medias like the games and even the comics is pretty much the same in this front, where Tails gets bullied and then eventually meets Sonic and is inspired immediately. In my own personal opinion, I feel like the movie is somewhat filling in those loose gaps where the games couldn't at that time. With games like Sonic 1, 2, and 3, there weren't any talking cutscenes or dialogue exchanged between each characters, so you weren't able to get the full experience of how each character interacted with one another. These games were only able to give you surface level interactions that kind of gave you a general idea of how each character felt about one another, whereas the movie is trying to use that as a guideline but kind of go a little bit further. In saying this, I'm not trying to imply that the movies are trying to serve as an origin story to the games, because that's just not true. However, I do believe that the interpretations that are displayed in the films are kind of indicative of what happens in the games. They're just kind of a loose interpretation of what they believe could have happened if there was more dialogue at play. With that being said, I feel like the movie version of Tails stays very true to what the games tried to be in the early 90s, and of course I do believe that over time his character will grow and become more of what we see nowadays. Hopefully not like this.
Sonic, help me!
But anyway, those are my thoughts on movie Tails as a character. I believe he is great, and I want to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you love him? Do you hate him? Is he your favorite interpretation? Let me know down below. And also, while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And also don't forget to turn on the post notifications bell, that way you never miss an upload from me. You do not want to miss what I have to say. But anyway, now is as good a time as any to shout out my lovely channel members. Thank you all again for supporting me and creating the best possible content that I can create. Y'all are truly the best. Videos like these would not be possible without you. Thank you all again so very much. I praise the Lord every day for y'all. Y'all are amazing. If you're interested in becoming a member of my channel, there'll be a link in the description down below. But anyway, thank you all again so much for watching. This is Sonicsta signing out. Have a super blessed day, y'all.
Why are you playing that trash?